good, hard-fought win. Proud of our players. It was kind of, a sloppy game. I think when you play against a good football team and you throw an interception in the end zone and you get them stopped and you get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which is very much unlike us. To overcome those two things, I'm proud of our guys for doing that. They played hard. It was hot. We talked all week about, the need to be disciplined. Sometimes these games, there's a lot of chirping and a lot of this and a lot of that. And I thought our guys were really focused on, playing football and doing their job and, and being disciplined. And so proud of them for that. Just going to check the penalties real quick. I didn't see. Yeah, we ended up in more penalties than we wanted to. But, yeah, we overcame some bad stuff, and good football teams do that and find a way to win. And, got to give SMU a ton of credit. I thought they played hard. I thought the quarterback really played well. He's a good football player. Tried to pressure him, and, he made some great plays under duress and showed a lot of toughness. So, hats off to Jennings. I thought he really, really played hard and played well. And, it wasn't as clean offensively as we've been playing. I was a little discouraged by that. We just had more penalties. We had kind of shot ourselves in the foot more often in this game than we have so far in the season. But again, thought our guys really did a great job overcoming the stuff. And, we had some third and extra long situations, and we converted a bunch of those today, which I think was one of the keys to winning the football game.
Coach, what was the explanation given to you on what looked like Eric's touchdown?
They said replay reviewed it and said it wasn't a catch. So, there's not really, and I felt bad for the officials on the field because I think they saw the replay, but there was nothing they could do about it.
There was a lot of great wide receiver performances.
Yeah.
Reggie Roberson, SMU, if he has the ball. Where does the performance from Eric rank for you personally?
Well, Eric was kind of quiet the first two ball games, and we kind of had talked about that through the week, kind of felt like this was his kind of game, you know what I mean? And I think number one, he was really disappointed that guy wrestled that ball away from him in the end zone because I think he had it in his hands, and the defensive back at SMU did a good job getting it away from him. But I think he just took over. You know what I mean? The guy just took over the game, and that's what great players do. They find a way to make a play when you really need him to make a play, and he did. He just took over the game, was physical, made some unbelievable catches. The one catch where Josh got hit and the ball flew up in the air, that usually doesn't turn out particularly well, and Eric somehow positioned himself underneath that ball and made a play, which turned out to be one of the biggest plays in the game. So, he was due. He was due. He's been practicing his tail off. I think he was probably a little frustrated first couple of games. But, great players make great plays in big games, and that's what he did.
And some of the good plays he made today, but you held SMU to their lowest point scoring of the season so far. Just what went into that?
Yeah, I thought we did a great job defensively. I thought Andy and the staff had a great game plan. I think we pressured him enough. We didn't want to let him get out of the pocket and create by throwing the ball down the field, and I think for the most part our guys did that. You know what I mean? He had to step up in the pocket some, and when he did, he was very effective doing that. But we didn't lose contain a lot. Kept him off the edges. I thought we did some good things from a scheme standpoint to do that. Tried to pressure him one way and force him to run to his left and then have somebody wrap in. Tried to bring a lot of pressure in his face to his right. He's much more comfortable rolling to the right than he is to the left. And so, there's a lot of work that went into the game plan, and our guys executed it. And, we got on our heels a couple of times, but we just kept battling. And, Jamel's 2 picks, I think, obviously were huge plays in the game. Somebody needs to teach him how to run with the ball. I think he could have scored on both of those. Certainly would have made things a lot more relaxing if he had done that. But yeah, I thought he played great. I thought Bud played well. I thought we pressured. But again, you got to give Jennings credit. At times where he had people in his face, and he threw a couple of passes where we had him covered, and guys made plays. So they're a good football team. I thought, to me, the thing that we had to do defensively was stop the run, and I thought we did that. we didn't let them have any big plays in the run game, and I thought that was probably the key to winning the ball game.
How do you feel about your run game and the overall offensive line?
You know, I thought it was okay. We gave up some pressure with 4-man rushes in the second half. That we can't do that. You know, we thought coming in the game, number one was a good pass rusher, and he is. But yeah, we've got to make sure that if they're going to pressure us, you know, it's going to cost them to do it. In other words, they're going to have to send a safety or some linebackers or something to create some gaps. And I think they got to our quarterback a little bit more today than you like to see with a 4-man rush, and we got to get that cleaned up a little bit. I thought we were effective running the ball. I mean, I know at halftime we were averaging 5.5 yards a carry, you know, running the football. Now, I imagine it wasn't as much because we had a couple of sacks in the second half. That's going to hurt our run average. But yeah, I thought overall, we played physical up front, thought we played hard. You know, you think about it, you know, our field goal kicker was out, our starting tailback was out, and our starting defensive end was out. And so we had some, you know, 3 significant injuries that we had to overcome, and, you know, that's what good football teams do. They find a way to overcome them.
You talked about the run game. Trent Bell had some timely runs today. Can you talk about the way he played?
Yeah, I thought Trent played really well. You know, he's just so solid and consistent in what he does. I thought he, you know, he's always a weapon in the passing game as well. You know, he ran hard, ran physical, ran behind his pads. You know, the big thing for us was, you know, we ended up winning the turnover battle, 2-1, and that was huge. You know, to me, that's the difference in the ball game. You know, now you add to that stat, we're 24-4 when we won the turnover battle since we've been here, and so it's pretty important for us to do that, and we did it today.
You mentioned battle, but Josh had a couple design runs today too. Is that something you guys have been keeping in your back pocket?
Yeah. We thought the middle of the field would open up a little bit. They were going to carry some verticals, which would give you know, Josh an opportunity to run some, and you know, and he did a good job. You know, did a really good job. Converted a big 3rd down early in the game. Got us close on another one in the second half. So his ability to move around, I think, was really beneficial for us. He did a good job when he got flushed out of the pocket too. You know, protected the ball, had some big plays. Did y'all see the touchdown that they didn't call? I mean, what was did y'all hear anything in the press box?
Picture looked like picture was pretty clear.
Yeah, I mean, okay. I don't know.
How important were Caleb and Kyle Jackson? And you guys seem to do a better job of slowing Jennings down, especially keeping him in the pocket. How important were those 2 players?
Yeah, big. You know, the thing with both those guys, they can run. You know, and when you have a spy with Jennings, it's got to be somebody that can actually contain him or tackle him if they need to. And those 2 guys are both athletic enough to be able to do it. And so to me, like I said, I thought the game plan was really good. Because when he gets out, you know, he can run and he can create big plays. But what he really does a great job of is throwing the ball down the field. You know, they do a great job with their scramble drill and hitting big plays off the scramble. And again, we made them earn it most of the game. And so was really encouraged by that. Thought we made some great adjustments defensively when we got on our heels a little bit. And thought you know, our corners had a bad game last week, and I thought they covered well today. You know, and had some you know, had some battles. You know, number 3 is a good receiver and has been their big play guy, and you know, we contained him pretty well.
Any thoughts on the series ending, Coach? Your thoughts, personal thoughts?
You know, it's college football. It's business, and people have to make business decisions, and sometimes nobody likes them. You know, I mean, I think the idea is, so Coach Dykes is scared of the Iron Skillet game. I think 5 out of the last 6 is what we won. I think that's a Meatloaf song, right? 5 out of 6 ain't bad. He's a DFW guy, so I think, yeah. So I mean, you know, I ain't too scared.
Yeah, you do have a really good record on both sides.
Yeah,
both sidelines of this thing. Just talk about the rivalry overall and now.
Well, you know why we do? Because we try to approach it as another football game. That's been our approach. That was our approach at SMU. That was our approach here. Was build a good football program, show up for the game, play hard, don't get caught up in the hype. And I did last year. You know, I mean, I'm the reason we lost the game last year because I got caught up in the hype. And you know, and our teams have never done that. And so, you know, none of us did it this year. Learned our lesson from last year and improved, and you know, it is what it is. And so that's the thing. I mean, we just treated it as another football game, and the emphasis was always on let's build a good, fundamentally sound, tough football team so that when you get in these rivalry games, you let the other people self-destruct. And that's kind of been our approach.
There's been kind of a problem with the Skillet over the years.
Yeah.
What are y'all gonna do with it?
You know what? Probably get a sledgehammer and break it. I don't know. Our players have it right now, and they're excited about it. And we took a picture, and now we'll probably, cook something in it.
You got a short week coming up with a road game.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, short week with a tough road game, Big 12 play. We're banged up a little bit, and we're going to have to do a good job recovering and be smart with our practices, and get our guys fresh and feeling good for a quick turnaround Friday night. Because that's when the real season starts. And we played hard today, and we did some good things, but you can't throw a pick in the end zone, and then you can't stop them in a critical situation and get an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. That's what losing football teams do, and we were able to overcome those things today. But we can't do that on Friday, so we got a lot of things to learn.
Good, Josh.
Yeah, he had a cramp. Yeah, I was a little freaked out, like everybody in the stadium, but he came over and said he had a cramp in his calf and his finger. I've never had a cramp in my finger before, but I would imagine it hurts.
Threw for 379 and 5 touchdowns today.
Say it again.
He threw for 379 and 5 touchdowns today.
Yeah, and you know what? It wasn't his best game. You know what I mean? And so that's what he's capable of. That's how good he is. And that's how high the standard is for him. When he takes the field, he's just so good. I think all of us just kind of expect for him to complete every pass. And when we don't, I think we're all a little surprised.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys. Yeah, really proud of our guys, man. It was we showed some grit and love these guys and really proud of them. Go Frogs.